Okay, so we are here today with Jackie Chemelli from Lace Brick Design. I'm super excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here. It's such an honor. Thanks for inviting me, Lisa.
Aw. Well, I'd love to start us off by just hearing a little bit more about Lace Brick Design. Tell me what makes you guys different. What is it that you do?
Well, I will give you our little elevator pitch. We are a lifestyle brand for the adventure seeking female. So, in that light, we develop and create apparel and jewelry and camp supply for maybe the 9 to 5 girl who's sitting at her desk job and dreams of backpacking somewhere or summiting a mountain or exploring a new town. And so that is the customer and the muse to our brand, and who we think of when we develop all of our goods. So yeah, we're based out of Calgary, and we have an e-commerce platform on our website and are also available in 45 plus stores across Canada.
Awesome. Very, very cool. And I got to know you through an ATB mentorship program. And I've just been thrilled with your brand ever since we first met. So I'm excited to tell this story. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got started?
Yeah, life is funny. Life is really funny. So I used to be a kindergarten teacher. I taught for 10 years, and I kind of did lace brick. Let me back up. Let me rewind all the way to when lace brick first started. When I first made my first pair of earrings, I was on a solo trip to Vancouver Island. I was going to be camping on the coast there, and I was killing some time in Kitsilano in Vancouver, and happened to walk by sort of a bead supply store, and walked in and thought, hey, I'm going to be on the beach for a while, don't really have anything going on. I think I'll buy some. I'd never made earrings before, jewelry before my entire life, but I thought I'll just buy some tools and start to make some earrings. So random. And I ended up coming back from that trip with a ton of earrings and jewelry, and I also had some stuff sort of sitting at the side of my house that I'd created. And so I created from those things. I thought, well, what am I going to do with this stuff? I'd love to share it with the world. And so I created a Facebook page, Facebook Design Facebook page, and it was just family and friends at first that were buying my stuff when I would post pictures of them. And then I started to do local markets, and this was all while I was teaching, so it was kind of like a jobby that I had. And then transitioned from teaching into doing lace brick design full time, and launched the website last year, and it's just been snowballing ever since. So that's the sum of it.
That's great. That's really great. And I love to hear those stories where it started with you just buying some tools and randomly deciding to make some earrings. It's great. What would you say that you love the most about your industry?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, personally, what I love most about my job now is the freedom, the autonomy that comes with my days, and the creativity that I can unleash in my days, and the networking. There's a lot of aspects that I love now. The industry, so maybe like the e-commerce part of it, or the product-based business. I love being able to develop new products that speak to the customer. That's my favorite thing. I love being creative. I've been that way since I was little, and whether it was making like jewelry boxes out of egg cartons for my mom, designing. I used to wear belts as headbands, so it's always been sort of a creative. I love fashion, love styling, love creating, and so that's maybe my favorite part of this industry, this career choice right now.
Makes sense. Very cool. And then I'm sure that there's been lots of learning lessons along the way for you. What would you say was kind of your biggest aha moment that you've had, and maybe there's a few that come to mind?
Yeah, my training in this business is pretty much built on podcasts and reading articles. I didn't take marketing in school. I took psychology and then education, but I feel like you either have it or you don't, I guess. And so I feel like every day is sort of a learning curve for me. I try to read as many articles as I can. As far as an aha moment, yeah, I think they happen daily. I do remember right at the beginning of sort of making the transition, I was watching a video on Steve Harvey was just speaking about following your gift in life, and leaping and taking the jump and being fearless. And he said that the universe will make room for your gift. We're all born with a gift, and the universe will make room for it, and you will not fail if you're following what you're meant to be. And it just stuck with me. I thought about it every day for months, and so I think that was a huge aha for me, and that's what kind of led me to take the leap.
Nice. That's great. I love that quote.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm. If there was one thing that you would say, though, over the years that's held you back, what do you think that might be?
Oh, that is a good question. I don't want to say it's fear, although there's probably an element to that. I feel like I can be pretty fearless with choices. I think, you know what it probably would be, what would have held me back from the transition is the idea of society thinking that you're supposed to go and do one thing and follow that thing, and you're not supposed to sort of veer and take risks. So it was sort of doing what you're supposed to do, and just the financial security, right? When you have a 9-to-5 sort of salary-based job, you can live in that bubble, but that's not where the growth happens. And so, yeah, I think
that's great.
Little thing that held me back, but it wasn't big enough to hold me fully back.
I can totally relate to that feeling of, societal pressure and, needing to fit into a mold. So I think we can all learn from that. That's really great. What about in your business? I know it's primarily you, but I think that you have somebody else that helps you out as well. So who's your key players, and how are they kind of helping you and positively impacting your business?
I love my team so much. And it's just sort of happened organically. I've never put a post up for a job. I've never sought out helpers in a direct sort of intentional way. The business grew so quickly that obviously I couldn't do it on my own anymore if I wanted to sleep at night and eat and see other human beings. And so I did have to elicit help from Abby, who's one of my key players right now. She keeps things organized for me. She and I met, she was my yoga teacher at a local yoga studio, and we just hit it off, and she just gets the brand. She gets me. She's organized. She's lovely. And I want big things for her with Lacebrick Design in the future. And she, for me, hiring someone means that they care as much. Well, I don't know if anybody will care as much about the brand as the person who creates it, but she's pretty darn close. She cares about Lacebrick Design with her whole heart. And so that's what makes her special. I also have a few other girls that help me with organizing supplies, and I have a VA out in Vancouver that's amazing. Deb Rose, she's just on top of it. She's on her game. So yeah, it's been an organic process of just finding people that match the brand and match the values that I hold personally and the business.
That's fantastic. So let's talk about obstacles for a second, because I'm sure that it hasn't always been a smooth ride. What would you say was probably your biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome since you started Lacebrick?
Yeah, I got to knock on wood here, because I feel like the flow in the last year and a half has been, I'm so grateful for it. It's been the ball's been rolling, and there has been daily obstacles, of course, and that's where you build your adversity quotient, your problem solving skills, and this is also new to me. But I mean, as far as big obstacles go, I think keeping up with demand has been one where it's constantly sort of changing and adjusting and evolving and growing so that we can meet the demand of online orders and store orders and keep things fresh and stay process based. And that's been, I don't know if I call it an obstacle, because I think it's a really beautiful part of starting a business, and
right.
I'm grateful for its success. So I don't know if obstacle is the right word, but it's definitely been something that's constantly been, my mind has been thinking about, and I've been using energy for.
That makes sense. And I mean, having to keep up with demand is probably a good problem to have. Oh, that's great. So what about on a daily basis? Are there things that you do to propel your business forward, either daily, weekly, monthly, that we could learn from?
Well, yeah, for sure. Daily, constantly on social media. So, great content on social media has been something that is a daily thing for me. I'll miss the odd day if I'm if I'm just, needing a little bit, say, as with anything in life, if you just need a second to just step away. But it is something I try to do daily. I also read a lot. And when I can't, 5 or 6 articles a day, and when I can't keep up with the things that are coming into my inbox that I want to read, and I want the content, I want to know the information, I'll put it into Pocket Hits and keep it there. But I think those are things. Also, networking. I really, whether it's through social media or if it's face to face or email, that's probably if not a daily thing, it's a weekly thing. Just meeting new people. Calgary, Canada in general just has a great community of entrepreneurs and go-getters and self-starters. So
Totally. I can very much relate to the surrounding yourself with good people and being able to learn from them. So that's a fantastic advice. What about your proudest moment? Is there one that sticks out in your mind of like, man, I am just so tickled pink and so proud of accomplishing that?
tickled pink. Yeah. Well, there's two that I thought of, but the first one was getting the email from Hallmark, and they wanted to carry Lacebrick design. So that was huge. I actually still don't think I've got my mind around that one. It's an obscure thing for me. When I get their orders and I'm sending things out, and I see things in the stores, and we're in their shop windows now, and it's yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. And I guess just on the other side, I think I've been building my personal brand alongside of Lacebrick Design. And so if I'm out and somebody recognizes that I am the person behind Lacebrick, I think that's and not in an ego fulfilling way, but in a sense that I've also built the personal brand alongside Lacebrick Design, and that's being executed effectively. I think that's because I really don't know what I'm doing in that sense. I don't have any training in that sense, and it's just affirming. Maybe it's more affirming than it is creating pride, but yeah.
That's great. That's really great. So would you say there's something that's kind of your secret sauce or your key to your success so far?
Secret sauce. I love your little idioms. I think keeping things fresh. Keeping things fresh and continually putting out new products for the customers, new content, keeping the interest of current customers, and then also piquing interest in potential customers has been, I think, a pillar to, and yeah, the evolution. When I notice that something's being picked up and really a lot of attention's being paid or engagement on social media, that is where my attention will go for the next collection. So it's just keeping it fresh and paying attention and evolving the brand continually. I think that's been sort of a pillar of the quick success.
Okay, makes sense. And then I know you talked a little bit about meeting great people, but is there anybody that you would say has been kind of your biggest inspiration or has maybe shaped or changed the way that you run your business?
Oh, I have. So I feel like there's different layers of this one. Obviously, people that I know and talk to on a daily basis, and then people that I hope to one day meet. So I'll start there. Marie
Sure.
Forleo. Yeah, there's just, I don't know. I just feel this like connect. Everything she says, I just sit there and if I'm watching a video or if I'm listening to her, it's just like continually nodding my head and just being in awe. She has this phrase, "Everything is figure outable," and I just like it's. I think about that. Some days I think about it hourly. Everything is figure outable. There's never something that is insurmountable.
Yeah.
So I really admire her. She's a powerhouse, and she is working really hard on figuring out a balance in her life. She's a worker, and I feel like so many of us entrepreneurs are, and so I'm paying close attention to her because I feel like there's a lot of things I can learn locally. I love Candice Monroe from Buttercream Clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Her and we just have a great friendship, first of all, but she's such a powerhouse entrepreneur, and she just a natural at it. And I feel like we really complement each other. If she has a question about something, I'll try to help her, and vice versa. She helps me with so many things. So definitely an inspiration for me.
So I'm sure that over the years, there has been lots of learning lessons. I'd love to hear from you what you would say would be a big piece of advice for somebody who's looking to start in your industry.
Yeah. Oh, I have so much, which is why I started to teach workshops on branding and social media, because photography. Like I was so lovingly getting emails, people that were starting up just asking me questions. And so I think if I'm going to talk aesthetic wise and getting your product out there and recognized and looking a certain way, investing at the get-go into product photography is really important. And that's just like an aesthetic thing, building any kind of perception of your brand. Again, networking, getting out there and meeting people, and then really having a clear idea of what it is you're creating and selling and the brand that you want to build, the ideas you want to build around your business, and then being open to evolution around that. So lacework design is not even, it's really different now than it was when I first since the inception. So
Right.
And that is just listening to customers and just being open to the flow of the business.
Perfect.
So just being open and then paying attention to the aesthetics of what
Makes sense.
the quality control.
For sure. Well, I always say brand is whatever people say about you when you're not in the room. So
Totally.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Great advice. Great advice. And then my last question is, I'm sure there's big things happening in the future for Lacebrick. I'd love to hear what you can share for plans for the future. Where do you see the company going?
Oh, yeah, I have big vision. I'm building an empire. So I want, I would love, and this is going to happen. I want Lacebrick Design to be a household name. I want women across Canada, across the world to know Lacebrick Design. Adventure-seeking females, I want them to know the brand, and I want them to feel like the brand expresses who they are, and I want to be the go-to. I want Lacebrick Design to be the go-to for women to style their adventures. And so we're working hard in all aspects of the business right now, building that and keeping things fresh and coming out with new collections. We're working on the fall collection now, and we're looking for a studio space. So something, I think the brokers call it office space, but that's just such an ugly word. So I like to call it studio space, so we can really streamline our processes and have things in a really organized, efficient manner. So it's not like a storefront, it's not a retail space, but something just pretty.
That's awesome. Very exciting.
These are the things on our radar that I can share.
There you go. There you go. And I'm sure there's tons of secrets that you can't just yet.
Going on underneath. Yeah.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me and share your story. I'm thrilled to be able to tell it.
Aw, thanks, Lisa. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You bet.